as is the course. So today's version here, web show is Ice View, Twisted Crone here. As you can see, I have my butter boiling, and I'm adding the last 2 cubes here to that. I'm trying to pick up where I left off in my last recording, making the ghee, because somebody had messaged me that I didn't show what had transpired during the making of the ghee, the process of the ghee. And so I had tried to explain that I had a herky-jerky, and that's what happened. I turned it all off. I turned off the camera and proceeded to go about my medical issue, and then finished it without recording it and showing the end product. So I'm trying to pick that up right now, because she was actually disappointed not seeing what the actual ghee looks like before it solidified, because it just looked like butter in a jar to her. So I wanted to show that there's a difference. I have my fire at about I'm still learning to work with an electric range. I really prefer a gas range, but you have to work with what you have in life. And in this particular case, I have an electric range instead of a gas range. So I have all my butter, and this is 4 pounds of butter. I generally do 4 pounds at a time. Okay, so I'm going to get my cup. That I'm going to use to skim the solids off the top. I guess I could get a little better lighting. Want this fairly rapidly boiling. Nice rapid boil on there. Okay. Don't want it to boil over. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. And as this boils, it will develop a foam on the top. And this is regular, unsalted. You do have to use unsalted butter to make ghee. If you use salted butter to make the ghee, it concentrates the salt. It becomes very salty. Not advisable. So it's back up a tiny bit. Looks like I have it about about almost at 5, not quite at 5. And it looks like it's probably going to be just about topping out perfectly around just under 5. Okay. We're going to sit here and watch this boil. Okay, well, and since I'm going to sit here and watch this boil, I'll talk about other things at the same time. Having a delightful time here. I went to a art shoot the other night. Participated in an art shoot at my friend's gallery. It was a lot of fun. Oh, I had a blast. Face painted by Guy Haley, who also participated. Charles Clark Studio, CWC Studio. That was where we did the art shoot. Did a really wonderful art shot gallery shooting. It was so much fun. I'm sure I'll probably end up doing it again because it was just a blast. So you can see it's starting to get a little bit of foam built up. This is my ladle that I use here for a skimming tool. I'm trying to mess with the camera because first of all, if I move this camera around very much, it's going to freeze up. So I have to be very careful about that. And then second of all, it was getting steamed up, which I'm sure can't be good for the camera. Okay, so watching my butter boil, watching my butter boil. Somebody posted, I took it off. I have the liberty of removing comments from the trolls on any of my web shows, hence it's my web show. But somebody made the comment of, boring, what's the point? Well, I guess there is no point. I'm here, I'm doing this, and that's it. The point of my show is that I'm a cannabis user. I use cannabis. Look at me, see, here I am over here on the sideline doing this. And I'm not just sitting around drooling on myself. You know, watching TV and, you know, eating potato chips or consuming vast quantities of goodies. Now, I'm not opposed to goodies. I'm not going to say that. I've been known to consume some goodies. What I am saying is I'm not lazy. And I know a lot of other people in my world that also use cannabis, and there's none of them lazy. There's nobody I know that's sitting around using cannabis and living that kind of a lifestyle. I don't understand why people think that that's the only association that they can make to cannabis users is the deadbeat in the basement of, you know, his mother's house. He's, you know, 30 years old and no dreams and no hopes and no aspirations. You know, it's not because of the cannabis. The person that is going to be like that is going to be like that regardless of whether they abuse the substance or not. And so no, I don't really have a point other than just to say that I'm a cannabis user and I'm not lazy. I'm doing things, and that's what my show is about. Cannabis users doing stuff. So this is boiling and separating the goods. Starting to form. You can see the little white foamy solids that begin to gather around the top. And that's what you do. It takes quite some time to stand here and gather up, skimming all these solids off of the top as it boils. And then as it does that, some of the solids and waste products, so to speak, I'm not sure what the difference is, but these solids here, you can see that are forming here on the top now. I don't know if you can see it. I think you can. You can see little there. See how it's like forming little clouds. Little clouds. There's clouds in my butter. Anyway, and so this is what I'll do, is spend a great deal of time skimming, and this is where all the labor comes in. Anytime you're making anything at all, creating any kind of a product, it's labor intensive. I mean, this is not hard work by any means, but it's tedious. And I'm quite proud of my prowessness with a skimming instrument. It actually is quite an art form. Skimming is an art. This is what I will make. This is I'm making my ghee, and then this is what I will make my ganja ghee with. I have some herb already ground up over here and waiting for me to toast it up. So as soon as I get this done today, hopefully soon, I am planning on getting that right away done today. I don't know. Might be tomorrow. Depends on how long it takes me to do this and get on with plan B, part B, because other things in my life. So yes, I'm quite inspired. There's a couple of different other web shows, programs, people channels that I subscribe to, and so I watch them and comment on their videos as well, and I really enjoy watching them as opposed to TV. I certainly am not watching any of that daytime crap. I can't stand it. Can't stand any of that daytime stuff on TV. Just I won't name any programs, just the talk shows where they're exposing each other's horrific lives for all the world to laugh at them and ridicule them, and and or worse. There's even I don't even or the soap operas, and I don't watch those either. So if I'm watching something, I'm usually watching something on the internet these days. Much better programming available for people interested in other people's lives. Okay, so I did stir this up a little bit. It will separate more. Still, it's not done. I'll get my little cloudy islands back up here, skimming them off, and then there's going to be a layer that settles to the bottom, and that the in-between layer will be this beautiful clear translucent anyway, golden color, and that will be the end product, the ghee. It's clarified butter. Once it comes to that point of the of all the solids and the separation taking place, and then you take it one step further and you actually slightly toast or caramelize the body of the clarified butter, and that's what makes it become the ghee, because it's not just it's really the one step up from clarified butter to make it become the ghee. Actually get this a darker color, caramelized color, when you take it to that next, to just one step further than the plain clarified butter. And so then this is still getting my bubbles, my foam. This is how to do this. Takes time. And hopefully today I don't have any more incidents, which is what happened, the other day when I was trying to record this the first time. So far I'm doing pretty good today. It smells wonderful. It just smells wonderful. And clearly, I have forgotten that I am recording, and hence forgot talking. This is the thing about getting busy. Busies your mind, and you easily sidetrack. I wish there was a Smello camera and you can smell that this just smells like, I don't know, almost like a theater popcorn, like popcorn butter. So I turned this down to, looks like about 3. Don't want to get too hot while I'm still getting the stuff, skimming the stuff off of there. I don't want it to burn. As I said, this is pretty much like an art form in itself. Should be taught to aspiring cooks everywhere how to clarify butter. Not just for quantity, just for clarified butter purposes. Clarified, the nice things about clarified butter is that it becomes much more stable. It doesn't become rancid quite so readily as it does when it has all these solids in it. So it's better for long-term storage, and I believe I read an article where they found viable ghee in tombs from, you know, ancient burials. I'm not sure what religion or sects of anything. It could have been anywhere in the world for all I know, but I just read it somewhere that this ghee was still, you know, not rancid. That was in these ancient tombs, you know, thousands of years old. So whatever transformation happens between the solid waste and the other parts of the fats, I'm not sure. But this cleans them right up. So when I'm using the cannabis to put in here, it bisteps. I don't know if, you know, anybody sees some other. I've seen some other instructions about making cannabis butters, and they always are boiling the butter and the cannabis with water, and that's to separate. You know, I'm really not 100% sure what that's for, but I do know it's because it's you know, not stable that way. This is a much more stable oil for extracting herbs, and it wouldn't matter what the herbs were. If you wanted to do an oil infused extraction, this would be a viable way to go, as would also other oils. Olive oil is excellent. So would be sesame oil, but consuming any quantity of those oils is harder than consuming a quantity of a buttered product, such as a cookie or a biscotti or one of those types of things that you can get your medication in, and it's a viable amount, because that's the problem with medicating an edible vehicle, is quantity for sufficient medical benefits. In an oil is, I mean, who's going to take a whole mouthful of oil? Yuck, 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 yuck. I know they have another one where they concentrate it with a chemical agent. They extract the oils from the cannabis and concentrate it, and so you're only taking a minuscule amount of the concentrate to equal what would be a viable dose of medical cannabis oil or extraction. I've heard it was an amount of equivalent to the size of a grain of rice. Oh my goodness, that's a tiny, tiny amount. And then you take that, I believe I heard 2 to 3 times a day, as you can tolerate it. That's if you have some known enemy on board, like cancer or leukemia or tumors and things that you just want an immediate concentration of the availability what cannabis has to offer. In the meantime, I don't use it that way. I'm not knowingly fighting anything at the moment, and so I'm just using mine to deal with everyday pain, to deal with my illness, my afflictions. So I have pain, constant pain, never-ending pain. I've got a never-ending pain in my side, all over my side. Goes from one side all the way down to my toes. But anyhow, okay, we're almost done with this. It's looking really good. So then I'll let it cool, and then once it cools, I'll finish getting any tiny bits that are left. Go ahead and turn it off so that can start cooling, and then I'll strain it through a cheesecloth, probably an 8-layer cheesecloth, to get out any more stuff I might miss. So it has to be done when the ghee, when the ghee is cool enough to work with. So it has to not be boiling hot. I'm not going to try to pour it in my jar while it's boiling hot.